So for this video, I went to two stores. The first is called 7 Key Closet, and it's in Kowloon City in a bit of a random area. It's about a 10 to 15 minute walk to any big train or bus station, and I think most of the stuff that they sell is new. It's also a little bit more expensive, as you can see by the nicer things I tried on, but it's definitely a way more curated collection than the second store. The second store is called Me and G, and it's a classic, super chaotic thrift/vintage store situation. There are like piles of clothes that I think probably haven't seen the light of day in decades. I like this store a lot more because it really did feel like I was hunting, which I personally really like, and it was also a lot cheaper than 7 Key. I'm sitting in front of a huge bay window right now, so if I'm looking a little bit shiny or worse for wear, it's because it's actually so hot. I'm like sweating balls right now, so please excuse that. So for this video, I thought I would show the things that I bought before anything else. A, because I often find myself skipping to the end of thrift videos to see what the person bought, because it's kind of what I care about the most. And B, because I think it gives a better idea of the kind of stuff that certain stores sell. The first was a little bit more expensive. It's called 7 Key Closet. So from that store, I got two things. The first is kind of like the highlight of the entire video slash segment, I guess, and it is this dress. It is from the brand Self Portrait, which is sold at a bunch of websites like Farfetch, Nordstrom, those kind of stores. It's definitely not a cheap brand, but it's not a brand that's like into the tens of thousands of dollars per item either. I've seen this a lot of places. I feel like it was pretty popular with like bloggers and Instagrammers a couple years ago. As usual, I am late to every trend because I wait for it to go on sale or for me to thrift it before I actually try it. This is the Azalea Floral mini dress. They have a midi dress version, which I personally don't like as much, so I guess it's for the better that I found this one. What I really like about this dress is that despite the fact that it's very low cut, I feel like it doesn't look that bad on me. I'm very flat chested, and I think a lot of low-cut dresses or shirts make me look a little bit wonky sometimes, but this one I feel like is quite flattering. I also got it for a really good price. I'm debating whether or not I want to sell it in the future because I don't really have that many places to wear fancy dresses like this, except maybe like banquets for my business frat, but given COVID, I don't know if this will ever happen again, so I don't know. The next thing is this long-sleeved cotton shirt. I actually quite like colorful clothing. My facial tone complexion can be a little bit sallow sometimes. It looks okay right now because of the lighting, but I think bright, rich jewel tones kind of make me look a little healthier, which is always good. I also got a couple things from the second store I went to, which was the super like messy, chaotic one. The first is this yellow graphic t-shirt. It's 100% cotton. I believe it's from the 80s or 90s because I googled the brand and they like don't manufacture anymore. The shirt again has some nice jewel tones on the graphic, and I really like wearing yellow. When I was a baby, people thought I had jaundice because of how yellow I was, and counterintuitively I feel like wearing yellow kind of makes my skin look a little bit more pink, which is the opposite of a jaundiced skin tone, I guess. I don't know if that made sense. And something I really like to do with my graphic tees is cuff the sleeves a little bit. As you can see, for some reason I pay a lot of attention to how much arm is showing. I think like a specific amount is more flattering on me. The next thing from this store is this red plaid skirt. I'm not sure if it's wool. It feels kind of like wool, but I think it might be a wool blend or a polyester cotton wool blend. It does look a little bit like a Scottish kilt, but I've always been really into plaid skirts, especially pleated skirts, which is kind of surprising given that I wore a uniform with a pleated skirt for 10 years of my life, but I just really like how they look on me. I think they're pretty flattering. And this one is a little bit big. It's not quite as high-waisted as I would like it to be. I think I'm going to tuck in a little bit of the waistline and sew that flat, and then it'll be like around the length that I want it to be. These tend to be kind of expensive online, especially now that they're kind of back in style. So the last thing I got is going to be a little difficult to show sitting down, but I have a try-on clip, and it's just this huge denim jumpsuit overall situation thing. It has a ton of really nicely made grommet detailing. I think the fact that the metal on this, despite being probably decades old, hasn't tarnished is a good indicator of the quality of this. What I don't really like about this is that the arms and the legs are a little bit puffy. This is probably from the 80s or something, back when puff sleeves were super popular. So I think I'm gonna fold the pleats down a little bit and sew downwards so that it's a little bit more fitted. I have quite wide hips and I definitely don't need any accentuation down there.
Happened to miss this bus because I wasn't sure if this was the correct route because the letter component changed. I don't know if you can hear me at all, but I have to stand in this swelteringly hot bus station for another 10 minutes. But it's fine. I'd rather do this than take the train because I'd have to walk like another 15 minutes from the station to the store, and I already walked from home to the station, so yeah. I've never been here before, and there's just this random playground slash sitting circle in the middle of a highway and under a highway too. And I always find it really interesting when I see stuff like this in the city.
7 Key was definitely a lot more pleasant. If you have a bigger budget, it's a really nice place to visit. I tried on a couple things. First was this crop top that I put on backwards because it had this really weird plunging neckline that I didn't like, and I felt like it looked really nice, but it was uncomfortable and also pretty expensive, so I decided against buying it. And there was also this kind of nondescript black knit tank top, which was comfortable and looked fine, but a little bit expensive for what it was again, so I passed up on that as well. Shirt is one of the two things that I bought from 7 Key. It's a classic kind of like 90s Tumblr wannabe oversized striped shirt, and it was 100% cotton, which was nice. I didn't recognize the brand, but it was only about $10 US or so. And I spent a long time debating about whether I wanted to buy this self-portrait dress or not, but I ended up pulling the trigger because it was deeply discounted from retail price.
So the pickings at that store were kind of slim. I was a lot better the last time I went for some reason, so maybe it's a seasonal thing. So I am kind of a distance from every bus slash train station possible, so I'm gonna walk and take a bus to Mongkok to see if I can find anything there. I would go home because I'm a little bit tired, to be honest, but I feel like I should probably stay outside for longer, given that I'm gonna do nothing at home and I might find some stuff at Mongkok, so.
So the next store I went to was called Me and G, which, as you can tell, was an absolute clusterfuck of old clothes. The shopping experience here definitely wasn't as nice, I guess. It was really packed with random stuff, and there weren't any fitting rooms or anything. The mirrors were also super small, so I ended up using my selfie camera to open it up on myself to see what clothes would look like. And this was the kind of place that you could spend hours in. There was a whole rack of just flannels, and these were really nice quality ones. I found this really cool vintage Uniqlo flannel, but I don't look that great in plaid, so I kind of passed up on that. The stuff here was really interesting to look at. You could tell it definitely came from all over the place and any recent decade imaginable. I did find a couple really nice things like this Marc Jacobs wool coat, but it was a little bit expensive at about $25 US, and it looked a little bit out of date fashion style wise, and I wasn't sure if it would really sell. So that is all for this video. I actually really enjoyed my trip. I was kind of having a shitty week, slash still am having a shitty week, and I love thrifting. It's one of like my favorite things to do. I know Hong Kong isn't really known for its like secondhand or thrift retail environment, but you can definitely find cool stuff if you look for it. And if you go to one of these stores, or if you're not from Hong Kong at all and you watch this video, let me know if you liked it or not. It's actually so hot, so I'm just gonna close my curtains, turn up the AC, and see if these clips are any good. Bye.